Collins Hill Park. We're going to take a hike on the soft trail today. This is the start of the trail here. It goes into the woods. This is a well covered, or a lot of leaves, a lot of shade on this trail. The trail is on level ground here as we go further into the woods. The trail has been updated. It used to go through the woods, but now it goes around the lake, which is a little bit more scenic, I think. Here we get a little more scenic view of the lake as we go further into the woods. This trail makes it easy for the people to get to the spots where they want to fish. Otherwise you had to walk through the brush. It looks like somebody down here has already maybe caught some fish, I don't know. Or getting ready to catch fish. Now the trail is going uphill and furthermore into the trees. Now we're getting more into the forest, I think, yeah. Now the trail is going uphill. This is a mixed forest with broadleaf trees and pine trees intermixed here, but a lot of shade. The trail twists around to the right and then to the left. Look like we have a large stone here that people can sit on as a bench. Now the trail straightens out and slightly uphill. It's very nice and easy to walk on as it's soft and has pine needles on it. Now the trail goes upward and slightly to the left among these tall trees. Really good shade here. A lot of people out jogging around today. It's perfect weather, perfect weather. Okay, the trail bends downward and it looks like it's going to cross a bridge up here in just a minute or two. A lot of people are out walking today for exercise. People are stopping on the bridge here to get a look-see, I guess. Too, you can walk around the bridge if you want, at least when it's not raining or too much water. Now we're coming to the bridge. We'll go over the bridge in just a minute here. These people are from China, I think, ahead of us, according to Pearl. We are now on the bridge. People are still walking this morning before it gets hot. It's supposed to be 95 today or so, I think. Somebody's walking around the bridge, I think. At this point we are going to go up the hill. It goes left and then right as we go up this small hill here. Now the trail straightens out a bit as we go up the hill, and we're starting to come out of the forest, I think. Now we get into a straightaway, but it's uphill for a little distance here, and still in the forest though. The trail circles around and goes to the right. Now we get in fairly level ground and see our first park bench here beside the trail. Now the trail gets into a little bit of a straightaway on level ground here as we gradually get out of the forest. The trail now circles around the parking lot, but we're still in the shade, which is good, to a certain extent at least. It looks like they have maybe some kind of run track up here around the parking lot that goes into the trail maybe. Now the trail circles around to the right and then goes to the left. We're still on fairly level ground. The trail used to be up there where the old road is, but it's down here more in the trees now. So we're starting to go back into the forest here as we go down this small hill here. We're coming to an opening here in a residential area, but then we will be going down the hill here and then back into the forest where this lady is coming out right now. A lot of walkers out today, that's good. We're in the open shade here, so we're getting ready to go back into the forest, which will be a relief because it's already getting very hot. We are back in the forest. The trail curves downward and to the left a bit. We can hear the birds singing, even though it's almost lunchtime. There are a lot of big trees here. We thought this one was particularly interesting with all its holes in it. Maybe the squirrels hide their nuts in these holes for winter time. Okay, the trail bends around to the left at this point. Now the trail bends around to the left, and then it goes uphill and then to the right through mostly this broadleaf forest at this point. I was commenting to the wife that the Indians have long since left this area. The Cherokees, people used to be scalped going into the woods to look after their animals on the farm, you know. The Cherokee Indians were by and large a peaceful group, but the Shawnees and some of the others were more warlike. One of my ancestors, I had two brothers that come over here in 1784 to America from Scotland. There's two brothers, and they were ambushed by the Indians, and one of them was scalped, and the other one ran away and escaped. And if he hadn't escaped, I wouldn't be making this video today. Looks like we are coming to the top of the hill. I'm happy. I told my wife that she might have to carry me back, so we're happy to make it to the top of the hill. Now on top of the hill, but the hill's just a small rise for the top, and then it slopes downward, so we're going down the hill at this point. Now the hill slopes downward and to the right. I hear a squirrel somewhere in the distance. That squirrel is somewhere off in the distance. Somebody else is coming, I think. Move over. Those guys started when we did. They've made one round already, you know. Those two guys that just passed us have already made one round ahead of us. They started just before we did, so they've completed one round already, I think. Somebody else is coming up. We go around the loop here and then to the left, as we are still in the forest. Now the trail goes to the left as it meanders through the woods. We're still in the shade. Okay, the trail is on fairly even grounds. It circles around up here and then goes to the right as it starts to go up a hill again. Okay, we're going over this little bridge here. That's over a pipe actually, and then circling around through the woods as we make like a 90-degree loop. Okay, we're headed up the hill now and then to the left a bit. This is a pretty good sized hill as we go further upward. This will be a good place to walk when you won't exercise. We hear a blue jay somewhere in the background here making a noise. We were wondering how long this trail is. We think it might be 1.5 miles, but we can look at the markers when we get back to the beginning. So the trail now is went uphill, now it's going to loop left and then a little bit to the right. We're going slightly uphill, even still, and then to the right, and then further uphill as it winds through the forest. Very good cover from the sun. Now the trail levels off just a bit, and then it goes to the left as it meanders through this deep forest. With the ground is very soft. Here we are going, and we're going to the right here, still in the forest. I think a plane is going overhead, probably headed to Briscoe Field, which is a Lawrenceville, Georgia airfield. Okay, the trail goes slightly uphill and then to the left as it proceeds through this deep forest with a lot of shade cover. And the ground is very soft. It's a good place to walk, especially with people that have tender feet. Now the trail goes slightly upward and to the left, still in the deep forest. Looks like we still have some runners here on the trail this afternoon, or almost lunchtime. Now we are going through the woods, but there's like a subdivision on the side of the trail here. But all is quiet here. We are really enjoying this morning's walk. Here we are, we're starting to go slightly uphill and then to the left, still in the forest. But it looks like we may be coming out of the forest to some extent. Looks like we have a bird up here. If I can get it, it wants to run away from me. It's hard to see here. There we go. Looks like it's probably a robin. I'm not sure what kind that was. We reached the top of the hill. Now it's going around to the left as it gets fairly even on the top here. Okay, the tree is on, well, the trail is on level ground here as it meanders further into the forest as we make our way out of the forest. Looks like we have a side trail here. I think that's the old trail before they redid this trail this past year. So it looks like there's only one park bench so far. They drastically need to put some more park benches in here for the people who aren't very well fit for hiking. We noticed one of the trees has been split here by the storms that we recently had. This reminds me of our neighbor's tree, whose tree halfway fallen. It's over our fence, and we're going to have to get them to cut it, otherwise it will destroy our fence. So we're headed still on this trail further out. Okay, we come to a bend here that goes downward. We've been hearing a deep melodic bird song. We think maybe it's a wood thrush. They have a very deep voice, as you know. This is like a side trail running off the main trail here. I suspect some of these trails are the old trail before they redid this and made it a wider and longer trail, maybe. We're coming out of the forest now, headed back into that open area that we crossed at another place as the trail loops back to the parking lot. We just came out of the open space. Now we're headed back, but we're not going back on the same trail. It's a different part of the trail. It loops downward and then upward again. It looks like we have a wire running across the path here. We don't know where it goes, but it's a little bit of an dangerous obstacle. If somebody doesn't see it, they could trip on it when they're running. So this should be removed sometime soon. It's right here behind the baseball field, I think. So that needs to be fixed soon. Otherwise, it's an accident waiting to happen. Okay, we're coming down to our second park bench. Pearl's going to take a bit of a break, I believe. That's not a bad idea. This tree, this trail goes further up, and then it goes downhill at this point. We have different species of birds here on the trail, as we can hear one sing out in the distance there, but we can't see it. If I had the time, I would search it out. But then next we have to go down the hill here. You can probably hear the bird. Okay, we have reached the top of the hill. Now it's going down on the other side by the baseball court, it looks like. Now the trail goes downward and around these batting cages here as we get back into the parking lot. Since last year, they've put in this new wooden fence, which wasn't here, it seems to me, at least part of it last year. So it's a big improvement. The trail straightens out as we walk alongside this fence, headed back into the parking lot. As we can see here on the side, there's several batting cages for kids here in Collins Hill. Now this trail starts on one side of the parking lot and goes completely around it. So we're headed back now to where we originally parked. It looks like this trail assumes that you parked here, but we parked on the other side. So the trail abruptly ends at this point. I think there must be a side trail that we missed that would take us back to the parking lot. So we have to take the road instead of the walking trail back to the parking lot where we parked. I think there used to be another side trail. No. Pearl says no, but I can look at the video from last year to see. It's the one that walked it, you know. We're headed back to our car as someone is coming up here in the van. So we'll have to see where the old trail was. Here's the part of the trail that we missed with the parking bench. I remember it from last year. And it's got a loop so you can go down and look at the stream when there's water there. So we're going to take this. It's a lot better than being in the sun. It's really a cool relief to get back into the forest. And the trail loops around here beside the road that goes back to the first parking lot. We're making our way out of the forest here, and it goes left back to the first parking lot. Now we are coming back to the first parking lot. We'll have to find our car. It's somewhere down in the way there. There's some kind of bird or squirrel that's making a big noise. I think it was a bird. What? Oh, we have some beautiful crepe myrtles here. We have some beautiful crepe myrtles here alongside the trail at the parking lot. Here we are headed back to our car. As you can see, we have a beautiful lake here at Collins Hills Park.